here at WKRG Plus. Join us on the Red Couch.
Come with me to take the very first Amtrak train from Mobile.
Well, after a 2-decade hiatus, Amtrak returned to the Gulf Coast nearly a month ago with its Mardi Gras passenger rail service between Mobile and New Orleans. The train makes 4 stops in Mississippi before rolling into New Orleans. And on that first departure from the port city, Lorelei Koory was on board. She's here on the Red Couch to share her experience. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, anytime. Let's talk about what made you decide to get on this first departure from Mobile.
So actually, this has been a months-long planning journey between myself and my husband. He and I heard about the train coming back, and he and I are the type of people that we see something that's new, that's novel, that we haven't done before. We are always on board to do that. So as soon as we heard that they were selling the tickets, we got on, woke up I think at like 7 a.m. that morning, and tried to, literally 7 a.m. just to grab the tickets, logged on. Super excited to get those tickets. I think they sold out within a couple hours that same day.
I believe that.
Yes. Yeah, and so yes, we got the tickets, got on board, woke up. That first train leaves at about 6:30 in the morning, so we woke up at 5 a.m. And then we even if you can see in the TikTok, he and I even both got dressed up in the dress. He wore his suit because we wanted to just not only make it just a train ride, but make it an event.
Yes, an experience.
Yeah, because it's not only just a train ride, but it is that return of train service to the city of Mobile after 20 years. So it's more than just a train ride, it's the return of transportation, it's the return of connecting between the two cities.
Right.
So it's really, really great.
What I really loved about your video, right, is you documented both of your trips. So you went on twice, once to New Orleans and then to Biloxi on TikTok. And it has garnered a lot of attention. I mean, thousands of views and likes. Did you think that it would get that response?
You know, honestly, no. I only have about like 700 followers now on TikTok. I tend to use other social media platforms more like Reddit, but I decided to post on TikTok because I know that TikTok has that location feature and then the video. So just being able to just show people what happened on that Amtrak train journey, it was important to me, because not only just to share my own experience, but to also raise awareness and show people like, hey, this is how you get onto the train. This is what it's actually like, because I wanted to bring in more traffic and more people to actually ride the train with us.
Absolutely. Let's back up a little bit. Let's talk about the cost and maybe the seating options for this particular ride.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's 2 different options. The first is coach and the second is business class. Yeah, so you have those 2 different options. Coach, I believe was about $24 one way, so $48 round trip.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. Yeah. The business class was a little bit more pricey. I think it was a total of $118 for the round trip, but it should be noted that that comes with free drinks.
Wow.
So it comes with 2 free drinks, non-alcoholic on the way there and then all the way back. So there are drinks that are included with that, so it's not like you're just paying that extra money for no reason. You do get a couple of extra perks that come with it. I thought it was really reasonably priced because when you go to New Orleans, parking is $50 anyway, right?
Right.
We've all been there. We've all tried to find a parking garage.
On top of gas, right?
Right. And then also the 2-hour journey. So if you're taking coach and you already had to pay for parking, the ticket has paid for itself by the time you already get it. So I think that's a really nice perk as well.
And we talked about drinks, but let's also talk about the menu. I saw on your TikTok that they were offering moon pies, which is a staple here in Mobile.
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so they had a couple of different regional selections. So they had muffaladas for New Orleans. They had moon pies, which they're technically from Tennessee, but they're for Mobile, right?
We adopted them.
Yes, we adopted moon pies here in Mobile. They also had Zapp's potato chips.
Nice.
And hurricanes. So if you like to drink, that you can get a hurricane on board, which I thought was really nice. And also community coffee. So yeah, I was speaking to some of the Amtrak staff, and that Mardi Gras line is the only Amtrak line that carries community coffee.
Wow, the more you know.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, so they did it just for Mobile and New Orleans. So if you want a community coffee on an Amtrak train, you have to take the Mardi Gras line.
I love it. As a coffee connoisseur myself, that is like, check, I'm in.
Yeah.
I love it. Let's also talk about the ride there. How was that experience for you? A lot of people have said, well, it takes about 4 hours to get there. Why would I choose to get on Amtrak rather than to drive? Talk about your thoughts on that.
Yeah, so I have 2 different sets of thoughts. So one is for the long journey over to New Orleans. So for that, it does take a little I say a little bit longer. It does take about 4 hours on the train versus about 2.5 by the car. But I think that the big advantage to being on the train is being able to just move around and have that freedom to not have to stay operating the vehicle for 2.5 hours straight, eyes straight ahead. You can read a book, you can listen to music, you can watch TV, and you can even get up, walk around the train, have lunch in the cafe car, come back to your seat. On that first journey, there was actually a short period of time where we were stuck on the tracks because there was a truck on the tracks outside of Gulfport. We were delayed about 15 minutes, and I didn't even notice it because I was able to get up. I got up on the train, walked down to the end of the car to go see
yourself.
my friends. Yeah. So it's just like, so I remember hearing on social media, oh, the train was late. To the people on the train, I don't think any of us even noticed that it didn't even register that we had stopped. We were all just still having fun. Now, the shorter trips, like to Biloxi from Mobile, that only takes an hour. That's the same amount of time as driving. So in those cases, it's just like, well, if you don't want to drive, it's still going to take the same amount of time. You can get on the train. You can relax, sit back. The seats recline well back, so you can just take a nap the entire time. It's wonderful.
I love that. And the scenery. I mean, it's beautiful. You're able to kind of sightsee and look around, whereas you can't really do that when, like you said, you're focusing on driving.
Yeah, absolutely. The scenery is, there are some scenes as you pass by on the train that you're not going to see anywhere else. So like you pass by the SS United States. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, and it is about as close as you're going to get unless you take one of the riverboats up to go see it, right? It passes directly by the SS United States. It's beautiful. You can see the entire ship. It's gorgeous. There are some parts where you cross over the Mississippi Sound and you don't see another human being on either side of the train. It's so trippy. And the parts where it's over the water, if you look down to the train window, you can't see the train tracks. It's yeah. So it's like the train is floating. And I'm not sure if you've ever seen the movie Spirited Away, if anybody's an anime fan, but if you've ever seen Spirited Away, it is exactly like that scenic train ride in that movie where it's like the train is just floating. If you go on the sunset trip, you can see the sunset on the water, and it's like you're floating on top of heaven. It's beautiful.
I absolutely love that. That is really cool. Let's talk about these stops in Mississippi. So there's 4 of them. A lot of folks, again, have said, well, I feel like we're waiting a little bit longer during these stops. What's your take on that? How long did it take you all to get through those 4 stops to get to New Orleans?
Yeah, so the train stops about 5 minutes at each one of the stops. So I have boarded in Biloxi, which is considered one of those stops in the middle. The train actually arrived early. I think we were supposed to depart at 7:56. Yeah, so the train actually showed up at 7:48.
Oh, wonderful.
I know I had the specific time, so I was keeping track, everybody. So, you know, you still have 6 minutes to board, and I'll say that that's plenty of time to get on the train because it's not like an airplane where everybody has to be seated and in their seats and ready for takeoff. You can board the train and then take all the time you need to find a seat. There's plenty of seats, there's plenty of time, and no one's going to leave you behind as long as you were on time at the station. I think it takes about 5 minutes and then you're back off again down the train tracks.
Perfect. I love that. Not long at all, actually.
Yeah, no, not long at all.
And for folks contemplating to say, you know, I don't know if I should do this. I don't know if I should take the transportation through Amtrak. What would be your advice to them?
My advice is that you know, you don't necessarily need to look at it as just transportation. The train ride is enjoyable just for the sake of it being a nice, enjoyable train ride. I know that all of the kids that I've seen on board have been really excited just to look out the window, and you'll turn and you'll see them just staring out the window at the scenery, right? Because it's so enrapturing to them. I posted another video actually, I think this morning, which you may not have seen it yet, because it's literally an hour ago, where it shows the train pulling up, and if you have a young child, seeing the train pull up is seriously cool. Because it is just like everybody says, a train coming towards you. It is exactly that. The train pulls up right next to the platform, and so if you have little kids, they're so excited about it. When we left out of Biloxi, it wasn't just me recording, but literally everybody standing there at the platform had their phones out and was recording the train coming by because it is just that cool to see it pull up. But if you have to do it for transportation, the first ride I took, I had to actually do a little bit of work that day. I thought it was really convenient because I was able to do some work from the train,
Right.
pulled out the laptop, connected to the Wi-Fi.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, I logged on, did work for about a whole hour before we even got off board. It was very, very convenient. And so roomy compared to an airplane.
Right.
Because on an airplane tray, you're like struggling to
Oh
put
my
your laptop on
goodness,
it.
right.
The Amtrak ones are nice and
No
big.
leg room.
Yeah, yeah, you could fit the full-size laptop on an Amtrak totally fine.
Yeah, that is really cool. And let's talk about that first experience again. I imagine that people were so excited. I know a lot of people had their Mardi Gras beads on and just really celebrating that it's returned after 20 years. Talk about the excitement from all of the passengers on that first ride.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we departed Mobile at 6:30, but by the time I got there at 6 o'clock, there was already a line of over 100 people there. 100 people eager to get on board. I know that I ran into quite a few friends that happened to be on board that I didn't know they would have a ticket, but I get on board, I see 10 of my different friends already
love
there,
this.
and it's like, hi everybody, we're all the same train journey. So we all really did make it an event. And we took the same train back that same night. So for us, we were just greeting each other like, oh, hi, you were on the morning train. So we did make some friends, and that was really, really nice. We really did, I think, celebrate it as a true inauguration of that return of the train service, because it really is that. It really is something that's really important and crucial to our city, that it's back.
Absolutely. It's so exciting. And once again, folks, it is up and running after 20 years. So go ahead and get those tickets if it sounds like something you'd enjoy. Lorelei Koory, thank you so much for being our guest. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.